Forget everything you thought you knew about all of West Africa being the same. Sierra Leone is a maze of taboos and unusual rituals. A two-handed handshake determines if you'll be respected. Asking someone's age can be offensive. And the sacred forests of the secret Poro and Sande societies are strictly off-limits to outsiders. In Freetown, the symbolic heart cotton tree has fallen, but the new solar-powered airport lights up the future. Massive diamonds have changed lives, and tattoos used to be ID cards worn on the skin. Let's dive into 15 shocking facts and taboos in Sierra Leone right now. Number 15. Manners are the cultural key to entering Sierra Leone. If you ever thought etiquette was just a side dish in conversation, arriving in Sierra Leone will show you it's actually the main course of daily life. Here, politeness isn't just social nicety. It's a core value, deeply woven into every word, gesture, and even glance. Unlike in the U.S., where calling your boss or elders by their first name is normal, in Sierra Leone, that's a big no-no. They have a whole library of honorifics to show respect. Mr. Kamara, Madam Conte, or affectionate yet respectful titles like uncle or auntie. Titles such as chief, imam, or pastor always come before the name, and skipping them can make you seem rude. In a country where over 80% of people live in traditional communities, calling someone by their first name can instantly label you as impolite. After a verbal greeting comes the signature two-handed handshake. Right hand shakes, left hand gently supports the right elbow. A subtle message that says, "I value you." When meeting a village chief or elder, a slight bow scores instant points. One cultural researcher recalled that after bowing to the chief in Kono, he was invited to a family meal, enjoyed sweet ataya tea, and heard stories rarely shared with outsiders. Politeness also shows in personal space. Stand at a respectful distance. Don't touch shoulders or hug unless you're close, and avoid direct eye contact with elders. Something seen as confident in the West, but as challenging in Sierra Leone. Even when handing over items, both hands or the right hand supported by the left elbow are used to add formality. And remember, here, your actions represent not just yourself, but your family's honor, much like the concept of saving face in Japan or Korea. Number 14. Gender-specific festivals are off-limits to foreigners. Deep in Sierra Leone's forests, there are two worlds outsiders, especially foreigners, are strictly forbidden from entering. The Poro Society for men and the Sande Society for women. These are traditional educational systems with at least 300 to 400 years of history, guiding youth through rites of passage into adulthood. Initiations don't happen in the village, but in sacred forests far from residential areas. In the Poro Society, boys spend 6 weeks to 3 months learning tribal laws, village defense, hunting, trapping, and ancient religious rituals. Conversely, Sande, which is rare in Africa because it's run by women, trains girls in family care, traditional medicine, community management, and secret songs and dances known only to members. A 2018 Njala University study showed over 70% of Mende and Temne women above 25 have been through Sande, while Poro covers nearly all rural adult men. Revealing society secrets is a severe taboo, punishable by expulsion or heavy penalties under customary law. During rare public ceremonies, visitors might hear drums from deep in the forest, but are strictly forbidden from witnessing or recording rituals. In 2015, a European film crew was forced to leave a village for approaching the Sande no-go zone. Even locals not in the societies are stopped at the border. As one researcher put it, Poro and Sande are like ancient books, but their covers are stone walls. Number 13. Sierra Leone's Husband Training School. In small villages in Koinadugu and Tonkolili districts, there's an education model that might surprise you. classes just for married or soon-to-be married men, with women strictly barred. Over 10,000 men in this West African country have sat on bamboo benches arranged in circles, not to learn driving or money-making, but to become ideal husbands in the community's eyes. The root reason for these unusual classes is high domestic violence rates and deep gender biases. In many rural areas, unhappy marriages or men not helping at home used to be seen as normal. Organizations like the United Nations Population Fund have partnered with local leaders to change this. Lessons don't come from textbooks, but real-life scenarios. How to apologize to your wife after losing your temper. How to wash dishes without breaking them. Or how to give grocery money without feeling you've lost power. Sometimes the class acts out skits. One man plays the wife, another the husband, to practice communication without turning it into an argument. Most surprising is the elementary school-style monitoring system. The Pamama program assigns homework, cooking with your wife, caring for the kids, or discussing family planning. A famous story is Ibrahim Conte, 32, who used to be hot-tempered and ignored housework. After 6 months in the program, he started cooking on Sundays, taking his kids to school, and proudly said, "I'm better at making soup than my wife." His wife added, "He's changed so much the neighbors don't recognize him." If your country offered a husbands-only class like this, would you, or someone you know, sign up? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's discuss. Number 12. Sierra Leonean women change their lives with motorbikes. In the United States or other developed countries, owning a car for work or leisure is normal. In Sierra Leone, just having an old motorbike, called an Okada, can change a woman's fate. With nearly 60% of rural people living in poverty, the story of 26-year-old Mariama Timbo is a huge inspiration. In 2022, thanks to women, Sierra Leone, a non-governmental organization supporting female entrepreneurs, Timbo learned to ride, received a donated motorbike, and started transporting people and goods. Earning $2.40 a day may seem small by Western standards, but here, it's a big step toward independence and hope. From her experience, Timbo founded Bombali Bike Ladies, training other women to ride and find their own way. Students like Aisha Kamara, 21, hope the bike will help her land a job with a non-governmental organization, while Adama Makaloko, 24, sees riding as empowering herself in a job market that's not open to women. According to the United Nations Population Fund, Okadas are not just transport, they're a lifeline, a ticket to freedom, independence, and even safety in a society where driving is seen as a man's job. This trend isn't unique to Sierra Leone. In Zimbabwe, women use electric tricycles to trade. In Uganda, some have become boda taxi drivers. And in Kenya, the Boda Girls program has trained hundreds to transport patients to hospitals. Number 11. The paradox of development and firsts in West Africa. Today, Sierra Leone is still among Africa's smaller economies, with a 2023 gross domestic product of about $4.6 billion and per capita income just over $600 a year, almost 120 times less than the United States. Around 60% of people rely on subsistence farming, and modern infrastructure is mostly in the capital, Freetown. Yet, here's the paradox. This is one of the pioneering countries for many systems in West Africa, and even Africa as a whole. Since the 18th century, Freetown has been a leading center for education and healthcare. In 1794, it had West Africa's first elementary school. In 1827, Fora Bay College opened, known as the Athens of West Africa, training the region's first intellectuals and lawyers. In 1925, Sierra Leone launched West Africa's first tropical hospital, drawing patients and doctors from neighboring countries. The country was also the first place in West Africa to have cars in 1912, and one of the first to use British-style legal systems with black judges. Even today, despite economic challenges, the government runs a free education program for over 2 million children with UNICEF and World Bank support, making Sierra Leone a model for education reform in the region. Number 10. The car-free and mysterious island of Sierra Leone. Have you ever imagined an island with no vehicles at all, where everyone gets around entirely on foot or by wooden canoe? That's Banana Island, a small island about 1 square mile off the coast of Sierra Leone, with a population of around 500 people. With its dense forests, narrow trails, and coastline surrounding the island, using cars is nearly impossible. Instead, people walk or paddle canoes, and everyone from kids to adults is skilled at it. The residents of Banana Island are mostly descendants of freed slaves from the 18th and 19th centuries, so they still keep many old customs, from their architecture and festivals to their daily routines. Life on the island is closely tied to nature. They fish for seafood like lobster and crab using small boats, cook their catch right after harvesting, and grill it over charcoal, keeping the flavors fresh, simple, and full of the sea. They also grow some fruit trees, raise small livestock, and nearly every activity happens outdoors, creating a slow-paced lifestyle and a tight-knit community. The island also holds many mysteries. In the jungle, there are ancient graves hundreds of years old, connected to European sailors and traders, giving the place a sacred atmosphere. The waters around the island are considered some of the most shipwreck-filled in Sierra Leone, including vessels from the era of the transatlantic slave trade. Today, these wrecks have become popular dive sites where visitors can explore coral reefs and touch pieces of history. Number 9. West Africa's first green airport. In 2023, Sierra Leone put itself on the world aviation map by opening a new international terminal at Freetown Airport, a project hailed as West Africa's very first fully green terminal. What makes this project special isn't just the modern architecture, but the fact that all operations run on clean energy from a 1.5 megawatt solar farm, enough to power over 2,500 American homes a year. In the United States, San Francisco International boasts a 3 megawatt solar system, but Lungi, though smaller, sets a regional record for self-sufficiency and eco-friendliness, making it a model for other developing countries. Step inside, and you'll feel the difference. High ceilings let in natural light, big windows overlook the Atlantic, and cool air flows thanks to natural ventilation, minimizing air conditioning. Building materials are carefully chosen to withstand the hot, humid coast and limit environmental impact. With a capacity for 3 million passengers a year, triple Freetown's population, this terminal not only boosts international travel, but proves that even a small country can lead in sustainable aviation. And best of all, as soon as you land in Lungi, you'll see solar panels stretching across the roof, a clear statement that Sierra Leone is aiming for a green future. Do you think United States airports will go 100% solar like Sierra Leone in the future? Share your thoughts. Let's discuss. Number 8. The heart of Freetown has fallen. In the heart of Freetown, Sierra Leone's capital, there once stood a giant cotton tree. Not just a famous tourist spot, but a living witness to over 500 years of history. In 1792, when a group of freed African Americans resettled from Nova Scotia arrived, they gathered under the tree to pray and give thanks for their newfound freedom. This group, known as the Nova Scotians, were former slaves who fought with the British in the American Revolutionary War, migrated to Canada, and finally found a new home in West Africa. From that moment, the cotton tree became a symbol of freedom, resilience, and faith for Sierra Leoneans. Scientists once said it was not only the oldest tree in Freetown, but possibly one of the oldest in the world. But on the night of May 25, 2023, a powerful storm brought down this giant. News spread, and many said it felt like losing a piece of their heart. Because the cotton tree wasn't just a tree, it was a national symbol, a spiritual meeting point, and a collective memory for the entire nation. Today, the empty space at the center of Freetown, where the tree once stood still, brings sadness. Some branches and parts of the trunk are preserved as historical relics, so future generations remember that a proud living symbol stood in the capital for over 500 years. Number 7. The giant Peace Diamond. Sierra Leone has long been known as one of the world's richest diamond countries, with deposits stretching from deep underground mines to riverbeds, where gems are found in sand and gravel beneath the water. Commercial diamond mining began here in the late 1930s and quickly became an economic pillar, significantly contributing to GDP and foreign currency. Some years, Sierra Leone exported millions of carats, ranking among Africa's top producers. Although the country's history is tied to blood diamonds that funded the Civil War in the 1990s, it's also famous for rare giant diamonds. In 1972, Sierra Leone made global headlines by unearthing a 968.9 carat rough diamond, the world's fourth largest and the biggest ever found in a river. A Type 2A stone with almost no impurities. Nearly half a century later, in 2017, a young miner discovered the 709 carat Peace Diamond, one of the century's largest, which was auctioned to fund infrastructure in poor mining areas. Number 6. Group jogging is banned. In Sierra Leone, jogging in groups on the streets, something harmless elsewhere, has been banned for years. The police issued the ban in 2017, fearing that large running groups could block traffic, create chaotic crowds, and unintentionally encourage disorderly conduct. Instead of being seen as a sport, group jogging here is a sensitive public security issue. There were previous incidents, especially in Freetown, where groups of dozens or even hundreds blocked lanes, causing traffic jams and sometimes shouting or teasing passersby. Authorities advise those who want to exercise to use beaches, stadiums, or sports facilities instead of streets, and group runs require permits and crowd control plans. Interestingly, in some countries, group jogging is a symbol of community bonding, but in Sierra Leone, the same activity is a sensitive security issue. A reminder that cultural context can totally change how actions are viewed. Number 5. Don't show the soles of your feet. In Sierra Leone, even a small gesture can leave a bad impression, and pointing the soles of your feet at someone is a major taboo. In many local communities, feet are considered the lowest, dirtiest part, touching dust, mud, and streets every day. So showing your soles to someone means you're looking down on them and being disrespectful. This applies not just in formal ceremonies, but in everyday interactions, especially with elders or respected people. If you're a foreign guest, be careful how you sit. In low-seating settings, like interviews in a thatched house or under a porch, don't let your shoe soles or feet point at others on camera. This isn't just polite. It shows understanding and respect for local culture. Tip: sit cross-legged or keep both feet flat on the ground, pointing outward. It's polite and avoids losing points unnecessarily. Number 4. Sierra Leone has Africa's largest natural harbor. If Sydney, Australia, boasts the world's biggest natural harbor, Sierra Leone has its sibling, Freetown Harbor, Africa's largest and the world's second largest natural harbor. Covering about 10 square miles and averaging 35 to 40 feet deep, it's one of the few natural harbors that can handle dozens of large ships at once without any artificial dredging. Its strategic location in a deep, sheltered bay made it a must-stop for ships crossing the Atlantic. American sailors once called it the Sea Fortress of West Africa. Today, the port remains Sierra Leone's commercial lifeline, handling between 1.5 to 2 million tons of goods every year, from iron ore, diamonds, and bauxite to everyday consumer products. Giant container cranes work non-stop unloading vessels, while just nearby, the fish market buzzes with activity. At dawn, you'll witness a striking contrast. Towering container ships anchored offshore, and right along the coast, small wooden fishing boats packed with fresh fish, squid, and lobster. Interestingly, Lungi International Airport lies only about 8 miles away as the crow flies, meaning many visitors spot this gateway almost immediately upon arrival. From here, it's just a 30-minute ride to popular beaches like Lumley or a quick boat trip to the Banana Islands, a rare blend of history, commerce, and tourism, all in one sweeping view. Number 3. Tattoo ID cards in Sierra Leone. In Sierra Leone, especially among ethnic groups like the Mende, Temne, and Limba, traditional tattoos and scars used to be a person's biological ID. Each pattern and location on the body tells a story. Horizontal scars on a Mende warrior's forehead, intricate geometric designs on Temne women's cheeks, or tiny dots on a Limba person's shoulder showing social status. Before paperwork existed, this was the only way to recognize each other, especially during trade trips, village festivals, or meeting fellow tribesmen far from home. In a country where nearly 60% once lived rurally, these skin marks were not just identification, but a cultural code connecting and protecting people. Even during conflict, when papers could be faked or lost, these ID cards couldn't be mistaken. Today, under the influence of religion, law, and modern aesthetics, this custom has faded in cities like Freetown. But in remote villages, you can still see elders proudly showing skin etched with memories, living pages of history from a bygone era. Number 2. A country of rare religious tolerance. If you've traveled to countries where religion dominates social life, you might expect communities to stay separate, like parallel worlds. But in Sierra Leone, it's strikingly different. Here, the call to prayer from a mosque and the ringing of church bells can echo on the very same morning. With roughly 77% Muslim, 22% Christian, and the rest practicing traditional beliefs, the country not only coexists peacefully, but also embraces and celebrates each other's holidays. Stroll through Freetown in December, and you'll see a uniquely Sierra Leone scene. Shops displaying Christmas wreaths alongside Ramadan lanterns. Children running around in Santa outfits while clutching crescent moon balloons. In rural areas, a single village may have just one church and one mosque, yet everyone contributes to repairing both. This isn't simply politeness, it's part of the cultural DNA, binding communities together across generations. Both Eid and Christmas are recognized as national holidays, giving the entire country 2 joyful festival seasons, 2 chances every year to gather, feast, and celebrate as one people. Number 1. Asking an adult's age is often taboos. In the U.S., asking someone's age is often seen as rude only in certain situations, like during a job interview or when speaking with older women. And sometimes it's perfectly fine in casual conversations. But in Sierra Leone, the meaning runs deeper. Age here isn't just a number. It's tied to status, respect, and even sensitivity about generational gaps. Asking directly, "How old are you?" can feel intrusive, as if you're prying or judging. Instead, Sierra Leoneans take a more subtle route. They might ask what year you finished middle school, if you remember the 1994 World Cup, or bring up a popular song from their youth. From these cultural clues, they estimate your age, making the exchange both playful and respectful. With more than 60% of the population under 20, these generational differences create unique communication styles. So if you're visiting Sierra Leone, skip the direct age question. Instead, share stories, compare memories, and let connections unfold naturally. That's how you'll be welcomed not as a stranger, but as a friend. So what about your country? Is asking someone's age considered polite or something to avoid? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And that wraps up our journey through Sierra Leone. Not just the land of diamonds, but a maze of sacred forest societies, tattoo ID cards, warm hospitality, and even a solar-powered international airport. Which fact amazed you most? The secret Por on Sunday societies, the tattoo traditions, or the green terminal at Lungi? Share your pick below and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next adventure.